and welcome to Elizabeth Hogarth Designs. This is video number 4 in my sorting and creating series, where I am working through my craft supplies one category at a time. The aim of this series is to revisit what I already own, decide what is worth keeping, what needs more use and what may be ready to be passed on, while also exploring practical ways of using these supplies without the pressure to finish projects. Today I am moving on to text and sentiment stamps. This is a fairly large category and one that can quietly build up over time because they all feel useful in different ways. Before I start creating, I am sorting my sentiment stamps into 3 simple groups. The first are the ones I reach for regularly. The second is the ones I like but do not seem to use very often. And the third is a small maybe pile. And as I go through them, I am thinking about how flexible each stamp is. By that I mean, does it have more than one use? If a sentiment only really works in one size or in one position, it really needs to earn its place, because I am trying to keep within my 3 or 4 boxes and to only use the plastic wallets for storage without buying any more. So after I've sorted these out, this video will be focusing on testing out how to use the sentiments rather than turning them into finished cards. Some of these stamps will end up being moved to my backgrounds category because I don't tend to use them as sentiments alone. I appear to have a lot of meaningful phrases which are great for the insides of the cards, and I would definitely need to keep the family sentiment stamps. However, I need to think of a different way of storing them because they are small stamps but they're taking up a lot of room. This light bulb stamp is more of a design to me than a sentiment, so again this will be moved to a different category. Some of these stamps will need testing because I've had them a number of years and I need to double check that they still work effectively. It's quite hard building a collection of sentiment stamps because you always need the right one for the right occasion, and you can bet your bottom dollar if you throw one stamp set away you're going to need it for an occasion the next week. The next thing that I'm going to do is to move the family sentiment stamps onto one A4 sheet of paper. I will then store them with my magazine stamps, which again are very much collectible individual items, so they need to be kept but they don't get used that often. I would encourage you to work out your own system for storing your craft items. In my head, this way of working suits me. I don't store in brands or by alphabetical. I tend to store by categories. The first thing I want to do is to try out and test some of my older stamps to make sure they are working. I'm using super smooth white card and my stamping platform to give me the perfect base. 9 times out of 10 I will use VersaFine Clairs to ink with. I've always found them to be very reliable and I like the colour palette as well. So we're bringing ink to the stamp, and then once I'm happy that the stamp actually works, I'm going to return it to its plastic covering and add it to my smaller sentiment wallet. Now that I have the stamp sentiment ready, I'm going to bring in my shape dies to cut around the sentiment, and again this can be done in multiples. So I'm adding tape to the die and then I will run it through my machine, and very quickly I've got two sentiment banners ready to go. This is a good way of working if you don't know what you want to make but you want to do some crafting, because then you can have these ready to add to a card or your project. So here are the two sentiment strips ready to go. And next I want to show you how I work if I want to repeat and produce a bulk of sentiments in one go. So this time I die cut the banner into the cardstock first. So away from the camera I will repeat the process. So here you can see that it's exactly the same die and I'm using it to create the banner for the smaller sentiment stamps. I use the original card to line up into the right angle of my stamping platform and carefully replace all of the die cut banners. Then I'm going to take my time to add the sentiment strips. Some of the smaller stamps can be tricky to line up, which is why the stamping platform is such a good versatile tool. And again, it doesn't matter if the banners move, because all you need to do is to line up the main card and replace them. Then I add my ink. Again, it's a VersaFine Clair. And then I've got my first set of sentiment banners. I'm then going to use my second lot of die cuts, place them into the template, which means they're in exactly the same position, and then I will go again. So I use this technique if I want to stamp and die cut a set of sentiments all in one go. I mentioned this idea in a previous video, but just as a reminder, whilst we're talking about the banner sentiments, I also double up on these fishtail banners by stamping with the fishtail to the left and to the right. Then if we want to make up a simple card, so for example I've got some fussy cut flowers here, so I'd lay them up on a card. I would then bring my sentiment in so that the writing is to the right of the banner, so that it will fit in place. But equally, if I want to make the card the other way round, so the flowers are on the right, I then have the option that's ready to go of using the banner the other way round. So if you don't want to make cards but you want to work out your layouts, having these duplicate ideas ready to go can often help you when you're stuck in a crafting rut. Next, I want to show how I would use a stamp for the inside and the outside of a card. Both are equally as important. So for example, if we look at the visible image light bulb stamp, I would use the largest sentiment and the light bulb design for the front of the card, and here I'm just using a simple ombre effect where I will stamp in the brighter colour and then use the darker colour on the lower tips just to add a point of interest. I like heat embossing these types of cards, so let's do that quickly. Then I will add the text sentiment to the inside of the card, and to follow the design through, I will stamp in exactly the same way. So the design is on the top here, so that's coming off the platform just to keep my card flat and to not damage the design. And then I will add the brighter ink again, and then go back in with the brown darker ink just to touch the lower end of the design and heat emboss it in the same way. It may be a hidden detail, but if you don't know what to say in a card and you only want to add a name, this is the perfect finishing touch in my opinion. Working in this way makes it easier for me to see which sentiment stamps are genuinely useful and I can use in a variety of ways. The stamps that give me multiple options and work across different layouts are the ones I'm more likely to keep, and any that don't really work in that way for me will go into the maybe pile. Next, I will be moving on to video number 5, where I will be sorting and creating with animal stamps, which is another fairly large category. Thank you very much for joining me again, and I will see you soon. Take care. Bye bye for now.